To tell, not even just a story. This is gonna be a little lesson or whatever. Hold on now, come on. So I just got done washing clothes and everything, and I'm looking at my shirt and whoop-de-whoop, and why my shirt all tore up? We gonna make this into a crop top, right? If you got, an old shirt that you want to revamp or something like that, let's do it. Come on now, don't be afraid. This is gonna be real fun. Boop boop.
And I still sleep good at night.
Okay, honey buns, so let's get started. Things you'll need are scissors, some chalk, a measuring ruler, some measuring tape, a hammer. Definitely, I couldn't find one, so I had to use this, some string, and grommets. So as you can see here, I'm measuring to see how long I want my crop top to be. So if you want your crop top to be, example, 10 inches, make it 10.5 because you're going to also need some seam allowance to make your casing. Now what you want to do is flip your shirt inside out. You always work inside out. And then you want to lay your shirt flat down. And now we are going to cut where mine was 13.5. So we're going to cut 13.5. So I made 2 marks at the first mark and the seam allowance mark, which you can see me cutting. The bottom, you're not going to throw it away. You are going to keep it. Here I'm cutting my strap. So if you want your strap to be 1 inch, you can choose that. If you want it to be 1/2 inch, you can choose that as well. Once you set your mark for your straps, you're going to fold the shirt in half and then prepare to cut it, which is more so the easier way than doing one by one. Next is followed by where the V-neck of the line will be. So you are going to draw up from the middle to the strap. After that, this is how your shirt should look. Following that, the bottom, which you have cut off, that was when you cut the 13 inches. This is the rest of it. You're going to cut one side. You don't have to do both sides, but you just want to cut one side so you can open the shirt up and cut the bottom half. Not the bottom half, the bottom rim, which it actually looks like. So mine was a width of 1 inch, but actually later on in the video, I wanted it to be half of that because I just didn't like how thick it was. But depending on the type of material or fabric or shirt you have, it can look way different. But I just wanted to do it in half, so the choice is absolutely yours. After this, we are going to start sewing your shirt, which you can see this is the bottom of the shirt. So you just want to take the shirt and push it up at 1/2 inch, like we said, keeping seam allowance to start off. Next, following, which you will see here, this is the bottom, but next following, we are just going to, I like to say, clean up your arms and where the V-neck would be. So as you can see here, remember to just make seam allowance everywhere. So as you can see here, I only did 1/2 seam allowance, and then I began to sew, and this goes for the other arm sleeve, and this goes for the V-neck as well. Okay, so as you can see here, this is where I'm about to cut the straps, the bottom strap in half. But while I'm at that, if you have not done this or whatever the case may be, you just want to measure your underbust to see how fitting the strap would be, because you don't want a strap that would be too big. So my underbust was 28, so we are just going to take the straps and measure all the way to 28. The first strap measured out to 19 inches, so that means the other strap, it needs about another 9 to make 28, so you'll see me cutting that. And then you should have 2 pieces, a short piece and a big piece, and you are just going to sew those 2 together. Even if you don't do a short piece, you got a really long piece that measures out to your underbust measurement, that's okay too. So it should look exactly like this after you are done sewing. Once you are done sewing that, you are going to already have your shirt inside out. You are just going to basically put them together right side up. When you are sewing this, it can get kind of confusing. So to break it down more, so you just want to sew the strap on the back. That's the only thing you want to do. You do not want to sew the strap all around. You just want to sew it on the back of the shirt, because now you should have either this, or if you already have had like a long strap that wasn't short or whatever, it should be already closed. But if you don't, if you're at this stage, then it should look like this, so you can sew it together like I just did. And this is how your shirt, your crop top, I don't know why I keep saying shirt, maybe because it was a shirt before, The little piece should be hanging off. So now we are going to make the 2 little holes for the grommets. I always pronounce it wrong, but that's okay. And we are going to put them in there. So it doesn't matter how you do this, but from my understanding, you are going to put the big one in and the one that's on the top, the smaller one that doesn't have a little bump in it on top, and you are just going to bang as I did. Like I said, y'all, make sure y'all get a hammer because I had to do that quite a few times, and it was truly annoying. But that's okay. Make it work with what you got to work with, if you got to use a heel or whatever. So you are going to take your string, push it through, and make sure you tie knots at the end of your string. And baby, look at that. Now you can wear the shirt 2 ways. You can wear it with the strap at the bottom to give it a little bit extra spazzle dazzle, or you can tuck it up in there and make it a little mini crop top for real, okay, with a little bit of zazz. Booyah.